this instructive video on how to use the Proatia software. Once you click on the link to download the software, you will receive a screen asking you to run the software. You will then receive your Install Shield wizard window, which will ask you to install the program. Just select Next and then Install. You might receive a message saying, do you want to allow the following program from an unknown publisher to make changes to this computer? Please note that the software is not harmful to your computer. It simply asks this question because it is an unknown publisher. It's not like you're downloading from Google or a known internet site. So you can just select yes and it will install. Then you can select finish. And it might open the software for you automatically, depending on your computer settings. Or the software might show up on the screen as a shortcut. Please open the software. Now on the very first screen you will see it is a Home tab. We have a link there to the Promotion of the Access to Information Act, and we have all the applicable documentation. Form C, of course, which is the attachments you need to attach to the manual on how to request information, an engagement letter to set up for your client that you are going to do the Proatia manual, and a letter of representation. Look right at the top, in the left-hand corner, we have an option that says File. And if you click on that, you can either save your data file, so you can save the manual as you go along, as you input your information into the software, or you can load a previously saved data file into the software, or you can exit. There's also a settings option. Under the settings option, you can select to load last form data at startup. So the moment you open the software, it will load the last data you inputted. You can select to export section 7 with headings. We'll look at that now. And you can select ask to save on exit. Please make sure this is always ticked so that when you close the software, it will prompt you to save your data file. Otherwise, later you will lose all your information and you won't be able to import it again to correct your client manual. Our second tab, we have our company information. So here we can either select a sole proprietor, a registered entity, or another type of company, such as a CC or a trust or not-for-profit. So anything that will not have the same registration number as a sole proprietor or a registered entity. You will see there is a date of compilation. Okay, it will always be the default, the date, the current date that you are setting it up. You may change it if you want to. Let's put in a name. Registration number. You can upload a company logo. Now please note, for this company logo to display at its best, the optimum resolution is 150 GPI. So you can go and browse, you can go and select a picture. You can insert a short introduction. If you don't want to, you can leave it blank or you can say not applicable. It's usually a little description of the company. Now you can either select the next button at the bottom or you can simply navigate using the tabs at the top. It really doesn't matter. Then we will fill in the particulars, head of the business, address, telephone number, officer. For private entities, they don't need to employ or appoint a separate information officer. So it might be the head of the business. Then you can just copy the information over, of course. Physical address, an email address, and a website. If there is no website for the entity, you don't need to put in anything. Please note, I've seen a lot of people putting this in capitals, and then it does throw out the formatting a bit in your manual. So please try and avoid capital letters at all times. The next step is applicable legislation to the entity. Now here you have to select legislation that the company that you're drafting the manual for needs to comply with. So please note, of course, all companies need to comply with acts like the Companies Act, either Companies Act or Closed Corporation. They need to comply with the labor laws. So we can go and see here we have Employment Equity Act, Basic Conditions of Employment Act, things like that. They all have to comply with, so you can always tick that. But you'll have to either know your client to know which act they need to comply with, or you need to ask them. So then you can just select. I'm just going to select a few. The next tab, information automatically available. Now, in terms of the act, this is information that you make available to the public in any case, such as newsletters that you send out monthly, or things that you make available on your website, marketing material, anything really, posters that you put up that the public already have access to. If that's not on the list, you can always select other records and just type in here whatever type of record it is and add. Then the last tab is the schedule of records. So all the records that this company have that someone can get access to. Now this is where the setting comes in, where we talked about export section 7 with headings. So if you select export section 7 with headings, it's going to export all your documents below these headings that are stated. If you untick it, it will just export one long list. So depending on how you would like it to look, I'm going to leave it on with the headings. Let's say I have a memorandum of incorporation, minute books. Okay, so you can literally just go through this list and see whatever you think is applicable. Just going to do this here so we can see what it looks like at the end. And then right at the bottom, You can once again, if maybe the type of document you would like to list is not here, you can always select other records and then type in what that you do or can make available. And then right at the end you will say export PDF. That you had to fill in, that you did not, it will tell you. So for us, the other general information box cannot be empty. And under applicable legislation, you will see there's a box, other general information. So you can say not applicable. You don't have to fill in anything there. If you would like to, you can. Okay, then we will say export PDF. It will ask you where you would like to save it. So let's say I'm going to save it on my desktop so that we can quickly go and open it now and see what it looks like. It will tell you the PDF was successfully exported. And now, if you close the software, it will ask you, would you like to save the form data? So what it means is, would you like to save the data that you just input into the software now so that you can open it later again and come and change something? I'm going to say yes. It's going to ask you where would you like to save it. So if you have a client file, you can go and save it under a client file. Make sure you save it somewhere you can go and get it again. I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'm going to go test. It will save as a bin file. So that's our data file. Okay. Now here's my manual that I saved. I'm going to open that up. With the test manual, registration number, the logo coming up there. We have our contents page, contact particulars, introduction, some explanations in terms of the guide of section 10 of the Act, facilitation of a request, so how can someone request information. And we start with the list, information available in terms of other applicable legislation, so which legislation is applicable, information automatically available, and information available in terms of this Act. You will see my headings that exported there. Requesting procedures and availability of the manual. And then of course your client will need to sign the manual before you send it to the SAHRC. They will also need to initial every page. So we will send the manual to our client will sign, send it back, and then we can mail it to the SAHRC. Now if you would like to change anything in that manual, you will open your software again. You will select File, Load. Okay, remember I saved it on my desktop. So there I have my data file, test.bin. Please don't try and go to the document where you saved, or the file where you saved it and open it from there. You have to open it from the software itself. The information was loaded successfully, and now you will see if I go to any of my other tabs, all the information are there. So if you would like to change only a name or a telephone number, or maybe just select one extra record or one extra act, then I can do so, and I can export it again in PDF, and I don't have to do the whole manual over from the beginning. And that's the Proatia software. Thank you, and goodbye.